From teenage phone freaks to multinational ransomware syndicates, the same human mistakes keep top hackers getting caught. Some hackers rewired tech, others rewired our fear. Names like Mitnick, Lamo, Anonymous, and REVIL still echo because their actions forced change. This video walks through their methods, motives, and mistakes. We'll pull apart social engineering, modern ransomware as a business, and state-backed operations. More importantly, we'll extract practical defenses you can use today, ready to meet the hackers and learn how they tripped up. Here's where their stories begin. What makes a hacker infamous? Often it's motive, method, and myth. Motives range from curiosity and clout to cash and ideology. Methods include social engineering, exploiting unpatched software, stealing credentials, and supply chain attacks. Myths skew perception. Hackers aren't always lone geniuses, and code isn't the whole story. Psychology, patience, and persistence matter more than flashy exploits. Understanding these patterns helps us anticipate attacks and design defenses. So which pattern appears most often? Keep watching to see it play out. Social engineering has a human target, not a technical one. Kevin Mitnick mastered this art by manipulating phone operators, coworkers, and support staff to reveal secrets. He started with phone phreaking as a teenager, treating systems like puzzles to be solved. That curiosity propelled him into corporate networks where passwords and resets became his keys. Social engineering shows that firewalls don't stop a friendly voice on the phone. But how did investigators finally trace a ghost across networks? Mitnick's capture reads like a procedural thriller. He infiltrated networks, then provoked a security researcher, Tsutomu Shinomura, who traced activity across systems in near real time. Collaboration between Shimomura and law enforcement narrowed Mitnick's movements until agents made the arrest in 1995. He later served time and reinvented himself as a security consultant. Mitnick's arc shows both the cost of crossing legal lines and the possibility of redemption. But there are other controversial figures whose choices split communities. Next up is one of them. Adrian Lamo earned the label homeless hacker. Because he worked from libraries and cafes, he breached Microsoft and major newsrooms, then sometimes notified companies afterward. That blurred the line between researcher and trespasser. Lamo didn't fit the classic criminal mold. He chased recognition and a rough ethical code. His story complicates our idea of responsible disclosure and shows how actions, not intentions, determine legal and moral consequences. His next choice would become explosive for hacker culture. In 2010, Lamo reported Chelsea Manning after Manning confessed to leaking classified material. Some praised him for preventing harm. Others called it betrayal. The split revealed a cultural divide, loyalty to peers versus duty to the public. Lamo's move shifted discussions about whistleblowing, trust, and legal obligations inside hacker communities. His legacy remains disputed, and it underscores a simple point. Public exposure and personal ethics can reshape a life. Next, we look at groups that turn hacking into spectacle. Groups like Anonymous and LulzSec use spectacle as a tactic. They combine satire, leaks, and DDoS attacks to make political and social statements. Some campaigns exposed wrongdoing. Others caused collateral damage and panic. Publicity served as their amplifier. Attention became the currency. But noise attracts investigators, and many members were exposed through sloppy operational security or informants. The lesson? Bravado online leaves traces. So how did criminal entrepreneurship evolve from those chaotic roots? Modern ransomware gangs behave like cold businesses. They run affiliate programs, advertise services, and offer negotiation support. Access brokers sell footholds. Affiliates deploy ransomware and exfiltrate data. Operators take a cut and manage leak sites. This assembly line approach scales attacks and spreads risk across actors. Ransomware evolved from lone extortionists into a fragmented economy with roles and incentives. That raises the question, how did defenders and law enforcement disrupt a distributed, profitable machine? Their tactics are brutal but simple. Double extortion demands payment to both decrypt and prevent data leaks. Triple extortion adds pressure by hitting customers and partners. Many use administrative tools like RDP and PowerShell to blend into normal activity, what defenders call living off the land. These low-profile moves delay detection and increase damage. That playbook powered several headline attacks. Which named gangs executed it at scale? The next scene names the culprits and their signatures. Revel staged massive extortions. Conti moved like a ruthless franchise. DarkSide hit critical infrastructure, and Lockbit ran a long-running affiliate model. Each group left operational fingerprints, leak sites, negotiation emails, and ransom notes that investigators used to trace activity. International law enforcement campaigns and infrastructure seizures hit some of them. These takedowns show that coordinated response can blunt operations. But state-backed groups present a tougher challenge, and that's where geopolitics enters the play. Law enforcement responses include indictments, coordinated seizures, and working with cryptocurrency firms to follow money. Agencies publish indicators that defenders use to hunt intrusions. Still, arrests rarely eliminate entire ecosystems. They fragment and reorganize. These actions do prove one thing: international cooperation raises costs for criminals. But when attacks tie into national strategy, attribution and response become political tools. That brings us to advanced persistent threats, groups that answer to states. Advanced persistent threats, or APTs, operate like intelligence services. Sandworm, Fancy Bear, and Lazarus have been linked to disruptive sabotage, election interference, and large-scale theft. Their missions are strategic, often patient, and frequently persistent. They target supply chains, research institutions, and critical infrastructure. APTs may reuse simple entry points like stolen credentials or unpatched systems. So while their impact looks sophisticated, their starting moves can be surprisingly ordinary. That ordinary vulnerability can scale into extraordinary damage. WannaCry, NotPetya, and the Colonial Pipeline attack each changed how organizations view risk. WannaCry crippled hospitals by exploiting a Windows flaw and spread like wildfire. NotPetya masqueraded as ransomware, but destroyed data. DarkSide's Colonial Pipeline strike shut fuel deliveries and created real-world shortages. Each incident tied cyber risk to public safety and commerce. Lessons from them pushed faster patching, backups, and incident plans. But how do investigators actually catch the people behind these schemes? Most hackers get tripped by basic operational security failures. They reuse nicknames and email addresses across personas. They log into personal accounts from compromised hotspots. They leave metadata in documents. A single slip, an exposed account, or reused server can give investigators a thread. Time, coordination, and patience turn that thread into an attribution. The takeaway is simple. Small habits make big differences. But sometimes money gives investigators the decisive lead. Cryptocurrency doesn't equal anonymity. Blockchain analytics trace flows of funds. Ransoms moved through exchanges often end up at regulated services that enforce KYC rules. Law enforcement pairs chain analysis with subpoenas to unmask operators. Cash-out patterns, timing, and repeated addresses reveal laundering routes. Tracing money has become as powerful as tracing code. Still, human factors, informants, bragging, or infighting regularly seal cases. That human element is often the weakest link inside criminal crews. Insiders and informants topple groups. A disgruntled affiliate, a boastful member, or a flipped insider can hand investigators direct access. Many headline arrests follow internal conflicts and leaks, not just technical sleuthing. Bragging to journalists or posting operational details online creates evidence. Victims preserving logs and reporting fast also make a decisive difference. In other words, criminals often fail socially, not technically. So what forensic tools turn crumbs into convictions? Technical forensics assemble the digital trail. Analysts parse network logs, EDR telemetry, and malware signatures. Code overlaps connect campaigns. Command and control patterns reveal infrastructure. Correlating indicators across victims builds a mosaic investigators use for attribution and indictment. These tools don't guarantee instant results, but they multiply the value of small clues. With forensics and cooperation, even sophisticated campaigns fragment. Which defenses should you prioritize to avoid being a statistic? The next sections give concrete steps. For individuals, defenses are straightforward and high impact. Use a password manager. Enable multi-factor authentication on every account that supports it. Keep devices updated and enable automatic patches. Train yourself to spot phishing attempts. Look twice at urgent requests and unexpected attachments. Back up your data using the 3-2-1 rule. 3 copies, 2 media types, 1 offline. Lock down your primary email. It's the recovery key to everything. These simple steps lower your odds dramatically. Businesses require additional controls. Small and mid-sized businesses should prioritize MFA for email, VPNs, and admin accounts. Patch critical systems quickly and scan for exposed services. Segment networks so a single laptop can't access everything. Enforce least privilege by removing admin rights from daily users. Implement tested backups and practice restores. Train staff with short phishing simulations and microlessons. Use EDR, XDR, and centralized logging to spot anomalies early. If an incident happens, your plan, contacts, and rehearsals matter more than luck. Have an incident response plan and practice it. Define roles, communication channels, and escalation paths. Run tabletop exercises that simulate ransomware, data theft, and supply chain compromises. Know who you call for legal advice, PR, and forensic help. Isolate affected systems quickly and preserve evidence for investigators. Testing your plan exposes gaps before real attackers do. Prepared organizations contain blast radius and restore operations faster. That preparedness connects to a healthier hacker ecosystem too. Ethical hacking offers a legal path for curiosity. Join bug bounty programs, work in sandboxes, and follow disclosure policies. Companies can encourage research with safe harbor language and clear reporting channels. This channel turns potential attackers into allies. Many top defenders started as tinkerers who learned to channel curiosity into defense. Society benefits when we create responsible pathways for discovery. But accountability still matters. Cleverness without consent remains illegal. What balance should companies and researchers strike? The common thread across these stories is that choices compound. One reused password, one absent patch, one unchecked vendor relationship can cascade into catastrophe. Curious people can build or break. Organizations that invest in culture, basic controls, and response pay off in reduced risk. Track metrics, patch cadence, MFA coverage, backup success, and time to detect. Those numbers tell you whether you're improving. Ready for a quick recap to lock the lessons in? Quick recap. Infamous hackers teach us that people are the softest target. Business models scale risk, and coordinated defenses raise the cost of crime. Do the basics well. Password managers, MFA, patching, backups, segmentation, and incident drills. Encourage ethical disclosure and build relationships with law enforcement and vendors. The internet never forgets mistakes, but it also rewards preparedness. Which side of the fence will you choose when curiosity calls? Think about that as we wrap up. Thanks for spending time with these stories. If you found value in the lessons, take one concrete step today. Enable MFA on your email or schedule a patch window at work. Share this video with someone who manages systems. If you want deeper practical guides, phishing walkthroughs, incident playbook templates, or ransomware recovery steps, let me know which you'd like next. Your next move can stop a breach before it starts. Which guide should we make first? If this helped, like and subscribe for more cybersecurity breakdowns. Comment which hacker story surprised you most, and tell us which practical guide you want next.